on his
That's
iPhone
on their
while the
iPhone.
woman's, the wife's watching something
So
on television.
attention's kind of already going all over the place,
Yeah.
right? So what is the new metric that people are going to use to really say, should the advertiser spend money on TV? So the network needs to figure out, how do I capture that attention? So what we're trying to do is say, hey, maybe Miso is the place.
Okay.
Maybe this is the new platform for TV advertisers to engage with while they're watching the show. And so if we open it up where the network can start having access to it, that would be interesting.
And that's where your money comes from.
That's potentially where our money could come from. I think that's where the big challenge is. It's all about attention. TV is all about, where do you want people to stare at TV, but I don't know whether we're becoming more ADD or now there's more distractions. People want to play a Farmville game while they're watching TV. I don't know.
There have been a lot of studies about that in terms of just social media, social networking in general, how it's just created this ADD generation where people are constantly switching between things.
I have a cousin who's 15 years younger than me, and she just I don't know how she does it all. I mean, she tweets every 30 seconds, and then somehow, I don't even know if she goes to school.
God, the data plans.
The data plans. I mean, thank God for unlimited plans, or it would be really bad for her. But I think I can imagine. I haven't seen her watch TV, but I can imagine when she's watching TV, she's texting her friend.
Oh yeah.
And then then all of a sudden she opens up Facebook, and then she's on Twitter, and it's what are you doing?
Tabs for each.
Every tab, it's crazy. So I think the question is how do you build something that says, hey, stay here. And TV was that medium.
Right.
You would just sit at home and stare at TV. The average American watches 4 hours of TV every day.
Yeah.
So I think there's a huge opportunity.
To this point, then, what's the value proposition for someone to go to Miso and interact on Miso rather than just continue with Twitter or Facebook?
I think Twitter, so Facebook, it's not centralized, right? Okay. So you're watching TV, there's all types of stuff happening on Facebook.
Yep.
Twitter, it's just not. It's also not centralized, right?
Yeah.
You can just do a hashtag, but you can't engage in anything more than a box, right? You can't engage with video or photos or take quizzes or polls or get interesting fun facts that are being pushed to you by the network.
Yeah.
Twitter is not
You
built
just
as
said
a
an
medium.
interesting word, too, that I want you to delve into a little bit. You said push. Do you think we're reaching a time now where it's more the me web, so to speak, where content is being pushed to you?
I think it's going to have to work that way. Okay. So what I love about the idea of the second screen is that if you're watching TV
or third screen or fourth screen,
whatever carry 10 things in your hand. What I love about this is that if most of TV is actually a multi-person experience, it's you with 2 other people or 1 other person. Yet we can both experience TV in our own personalized way.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you're watching, tonight, I don't know, it's The Office is on tonight, right? I can get interesting more at the content that I want versus, something that my wife wants or, my friend wants. We'll get our own personalized
I'll
experiences.
watch, the British version of The Office while you're watching the U.S. version.
Well, I'm also talking about the idea of, you want interesting facts about Grey's Anatomy, you know, and I might want to take fun polls, right? So we both can experience, while we're watching Grey's Anatomy at the exact same time, our own personalized experience. And that's being pushed by the network at the very same time. So the fact that, I think it's about personalization. I think it's about bringing that personal experience to you. And this goes back to whatever you want, however you want it, and you get to choose, right? Rather than right now, scheduled programming, you're going to see everything at the exact same time. And I think, the second screen and the things we're going to try to build is to enable that sort of convenience to people.
Nice. Now, we talked earlier briefly about CES, so the Consumer Electronics Show is coming up in January, and TechZulu, of course, will be there, so make sure if you have any announcements that you would like us to hear about ahead of time, or you would like to meet with us at the show, then send any of those to myself, Amanda, at TechZulu.com, and we will get things coordinated. But are you going to be attending CES? Do you have plans to be there?
In the last week, 10 folks have asked me that question. So I'm going to say yes. I'm really curious to see what they're going to show.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of cool new. The bridge between new media, TV, technology, how does social fit in is going to be interesting.
Well, last year was big with Android, obviously. Android this, Android that, connecting everything via Android. Do you have any predictions in terms of what you think we might see at CES? What might be big in terms of the home entertainment experience?
I think it's going to be...
whole lean back experience.
I think it's going to be about the passive experience, right? Okay. I think they're also going to talk about the connected home, right? So it's not just about your laptop and your mobile device. How do we connect all these devices all together?
How do you have that seamless experience from the moment you walk in the door and you're looking at something on your iPhone to boom, it switches over to your TV and your photo frame and your music system, and
it's the connected home, right?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of talk and technology around this area. And I think Google TV is also going to. It's going to be interesting to see how other networks and MSOs are trying to also open up their boxes and saying, hey, here's the things we're trying to do that make that. Here's our application framework. Here's our OS.
Do you think any of these are going to be the breakout? Do you think Apple TV, Google TV, Boxy Box, Roku? I mean, you've got all of these choices. Do you think they're going to just cater to different segments? Do you think one will come out as the front runner?
I don't think so.
Do you think something will just explode at CES that we haven't even thought of yet?
I think there's going to be something like that definitely happen. CES is always a great venue for that. I think it's a big market. There's TV's a big space. I think there's going to be multiple players. I don't think there's one.
They're doing a lot more with entertainment and broadcast at the CES as well, where they have some key folks from Hollywood that are going to be doing a special track.
I think it's a big market. I don't think there's one key player. I think there's going to be a first, second, and third, and then the others are going to sort of like. Google's been acquiring a lot of companies these days.
Yes, it has.
And Apple is too. So I think we will see who's gonna win. I think all of them bring something unique. I think they all bring something different to the table. But it's a big market, and I think even as we look at our space, it's a big market too. So
true. Just make sure you don't spend a lot of money on HDMI cables, people. That's my piece of advice. It's silly.
It's like
you don't need to spend $60 on an HDMI cable. You
don't recognize it that much.
No, you really don't. Get a cheap one, really.
Just get one of those composite video ones. Those are like half, maybe like a fourth of the price.
Get a cheap one. Get a cheap one. So where's Miso at right now? Are you looking to hire anyone? Are you looking to raise some funds? Where are you at, and what do you possibly need?
We're a team. We're in San Francisco. We have, we're about 7, we're a very small company. We're about 7 employees. We're funded by Google Ventures.
Nice.
As a matter of fact. We are looking to raise additional money. We actually are going to have some announcements there in a couple of weeks. So.
And you will be telling TechZulu.
And we will be obviously telling you guys when that happens. We're looking to hire folks. We're looking to hire engineers. We see ourselves as an engineering company. We want to build ourselves as a platform. To enable the experiences we talked about today, making it more fun, making it more social, and ultimately it comes down to technology. Build something that scales, that people can tap into, that people can use as a service, and so we're looking to hire some great Rails engineers, which most
Ruby on Rails.
We're looking for some great Ruby on Rails engineers. We're based in San Francisco, but we'll hire anybody. It's tough to find good people, and so we
workforce as a service.
Workforce
on demand.
That's right. We believe in that, right? So we just happen to be in San Francisco. That's the way we look at it.
Great. And when were you founded? We didn't cover
in
that.
March of this year. So we've only been around for about 8 months. So it's been a roller coaster for us, but we have we see this as a 3 to 5 year adventure. So. If you guys are looking for anybody, if you're looking for a company to join and looking for Rails engineers, we are hiring, and we are looking to we are behind. So contact us.
Good to know. Good to know. And what's the best way to get in touch with you?
You can tweet at us at @GoMiso. You can also email jobs@gomiso.com if you're looking for a job, or if you want to email me directly, it's you can email me at ceo@gomiso.com.
Great. And do we have any questions in the chat room?
They said they're here and I'll check it out. A lot of them already heard about Miso.
Oh, really?
Great, you've heard about Miso. That's wonderful.
That's good. Thank you for being a fan.
Make sure that you all tweet @GoMiso and say, hey, saw you on TZ Live.
And we would love to get your feedback. We'd love to get your feedback. Yeah. We take our feedback seriously.
Sounds like you're doing a lot of due diligence.
We're trying to do some due diligence.
Make sure that you let them know, because they will actually listen and incorporate your feedback. So. Well, thank you so much for joining us today at this wonderful space at CoLoft. Make sure you also follow @CoLoft on Twitter and just say @CoLoftRocks, quite seriously, because they do. If you are ever in SoCal, in Los Angeles, find yourself in beautiful Santa Monica, definitely stop by CoLoft and check in for the day. Great space to work out of, some great coffee here, great people. you meet people like us, right?
It's a great space, I must admit. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
So, great crowd, and people help each other out here. So, co-working rocks, especially at CoLoft.
Thanks for having
So,
us.
well, thank you so much. And if people want to follow you, should they just follow Miso, or
Follow,
do you also have...
also S Niyogi is my Twitter handle. So if you have any specific questions you want to ask me, just tweet away. I have my phone, as you guys know.
As you already noticed.
It was ringing, so I will tweet you guys back.
Thanks. So Somrat Niyogi of Miso, everybody, and we will definitely be in touch because I want to know more about this upcoming news.
Thank you.
And thank all of you. Thank you for joining us today on TechZulu Live number 11 already, and I hope you tune in next week as well. And I hope that everyone had a good turkey day. We didn't cover that. So we had a lot, and Efren ate pumpkin pie. If you didn't know that, and here's your little tidbit for the day. For future quizzes, our CEO and founder loves pumpkin pie. And on that note, I am your host, Amanda Coulong, here on TZ Live. Until next time.
I'll be under the impression of a somewhere in between, with only two, just me and you, not so many